Yo, does anybody else remember this game like I do? I don't know if anybody else does because I feel like this might have been like a niche Game Boy game, but I had this as a kid. I kind of want to talk about it, play a little bit, chill out. Hi, my name is Not Exactly Cool. I am a small content creator and YouTube content creator, and a small Twitch streamer. Gotta forgive me, I like to do these videos like no script, just free ball. Sometimes I make mistakes, right? But yeah, so small Twitch streamer, content creator. Honestly don't think this video is going to do too good because I think this is kind of a really niche game, but it was a game I spent a ton of my childhood on, and really honestly just wanted to revisit it, play it a little bit, and just kind of share my experience, like what it was like for me to play this game when I was like a wee lad. So this game is definitely a Star Fox clone, but it's on the Game Boy Advance. The graphics, dude, this could go one or two ways. When I was a kid, this was the most impressive thing I had seen on the Game Boy Advance at that time, and I was like, this is fucking cool. I've never seen a cutscene like this, like aliens versus the humans, and all of this, and the story honestly wasn't too bad. But this game spared me the pain of a lot of long car rides. I remember, getting off of school, just immediately pulling out my clear Game Boy Advance and, run through the missions and shit. And, like, oh man, this game was good and frustrating at the same time. This was at a time, too, when I had, like, maybe 4 Game Boy Advance games. I didn't have too many, maybe 5. But it's good. It's good. There's like segments where you run through the mission and then you defeat the boss at the end, and then you go into this open world space thing. I have a love-hate relationship with this game, but I thought this game was really cool. It's definitely like it's kind of a technical marvel that they were able to get this on the Game Boy Advance to begin with. But let's go ahead and start this shit up. Single player password. Oh my god. My grandparents had to have been like, what the fuck? Because I had pieces of paper laying around with the passwords, and they were complicated. Like, you had to write them all down, and like, ugh. And then the worst part was like, if you're in the car and you like pull out random notepad and you're like an actual notepad, not your phone. And you had to like hit the Game Boy Advance at that weird like angle just to see the fucking screen enough to enter in this long complicated password you had just to continue the level. It just got to the point where I just tried to beat the game in one sitting, and I got pretty close. I got good enough that I was pretty close. Oh man. Alright, let's start it up. Single player. Oh, I forgot the controls are backwards because it's the Game Boy. We have to escape from this water planet. My scanners show fighter ships, gunboats, and fighter craft carriers are all in the area. Oh yeah, this music takes me back, dude. Oh yeah. Boom, 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 boom. So the controls are pretty intuitive. The frame rate, it's bad. It's on the Game Boy Advance. But as a kid, I did not really care because I got the experience of like flying a fucking spaceship and blowing enemies up. I thought it was really cool when I was a kid. Oh, then I got really good at picking this shit up. Boom, weapon upgrade. And then go down, boom. Oh, shit. See if I can get through this little segment here. And we'll get to the first boss and get into space. And that'll be it for this video. Honestly, I don't know how well this video is going to do, because on the one hand, this is a very niche title that I have not seen a lot of videos on YouTube on this game. So there's a good chance nobody's going to be searching for this, and they may see the title and be like curious about it. And it may do good. It may be a grower, not a shower, if you know what I mean. But on the other hand, I feel like the people who played this game as a kid are probably going to like this video, because if you're like me, this game was really cool when you were a kid. admittedly, coming back as an adult, it's kind of ass, but it's still really cool. You know, there's some really cool things you could do. You could, like, zoom in like this. You could freaking do tricks and stuff in the air. You had bombs. The boss fights were honestly pretty impressive for a Game Boy Advance to be done in 3D. Ooh, homing missile. I forget how to use this. Maybe it's one of the bumpers. Well done. Oh yeah, I remember I used to be obsessed with the score too as a kid. This is the first game I no-lifed. Yep, so these are the types of passwords that you would write down and then misplace the piece of paper that you wrote it down and then fucking freak out about it. Yeah. I don't like this. Do you hear that rumbling in the distance? What could it be? Be careful, Rob. Yeah, that's the boss in the distance. So on a side note, I want to make a whole video about it because this is kind of an important thing for me. I finally threw my vape in the trash, and I couldn't be happier right now. It's a bit of a struggle to not vape. Currently I'm on Zins, but I think it's worth a whole video because vaping sucks. Boom, I remember I used to be able to destroy these rocks before they fell and hit the ground. That used to be kind of a weird flex. Oh man, I'm definitely not as good as I was when I was like 7 or however old I was when I played this game. How do I use the Oh, you press and hold to lock on. Boom. That's kind of cool. Alright, let's get down here and get this, I think this is health. Shield power, yep. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, here we go. I didn't use any of the bombs. I remember when I played this game as a kid, you could save all your bombs, and on the first boss fight, it was relatively easy. Like, the boss fight itself was pretty cool, honestly, but it was easy because you just detonate all your bombs and you could take out the boss in the first boss. Man, I've been thinking about what other games I want to play and just kind of do. Ha! My high-powered assault craft will make short work of you. You will never leave this place alive. Alright, yeah, so this is the first boss. It was pretty cool. I might shoot, like, pop some shots at it for shits and giggles. But I remember, originally, it took me a while to get past this first boss fight until I started using my bombs. Hit him again, boom, and boom. Oh shit, it didn't quite work. Sometimes I hit them all at once and it works. Yeah, I died. Piss. Damn. Okay, I get to try again. That's good. I'm just gonna boom, 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 boom. Loom up. This is one of the cooler things. This is where, like, this is kind of a tech demo of, like, what the Game Boy Advance was actually capable of. Because it was equivalent to, like, the Super Nintendo, but, like, slightly less powerful, I think. But, like, games have progressed quite a bit from the Super Nintendo, so they were able to adapt, you know, technology and ideas into, you know, a platform that is the equivalent of, like, the Super Nintendo. I feel like they did the same thing with, like, the BSP and a few other games where, you know, that level of graphics had been there for a while. Okay, so this is one of the cooler parts about this game. It's fully 3D. It's kind of like Star Fox in those missions. You can whip around, you can do tricks. Zoop, you can, yeah. This is pretty cool. The graphics are pretty ass. I remember this used to piss me off because I'd be searching forever trying to find these mines that I have to blow up. There's like a little space station here. We zoom about. Yeah. climb through here. Yeah, I feel like 3D graphics are usually pretty ass on the Game Boy Advance, but this one wasn't too bad. I'm definitely not going to get all of the mines. Boom, 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 boom. Anyways, if you happen to watch it all the way to here, thank you so much. I'd really appreciate it if you dropped me a like, gave me a subscribe, maybe checked out my Twitch. So I do stream a lot of games. No one particular genre. It's kind of like whatever I'm in the mood to play. But yeah, you know, I appreciate you hanging out and watching. If there's a game you'd like to see me play or reminisce about, or you're going to check out like a newer game or PS2 or whatever, or maybe even something from Steam, give me a comment, let me know. Also, if you played this game as a kid, please let me know. Let me know in the comments, like, what was your experience with this game? I'm curious if anybody else really played this game like I did when I was a kid. But yeah, I think that's a good place to end it. This honestly was a pretty cool game. And yeah, thanks for watching. Hope to see you again. Take care. It's not exactly cool, and I'm out.